romance begin.
Romancing the bone?
I did something wrong, didn't I?
Hello and welcome to After the Weekend. I am R2, joined by my two wonderful co-hosts, Beard of Liberty and Beard of Beauty, I'm sorry, and Mr. JT Gunn.
Hey, how's it going?
How you guys doing tonight?
I don't know who gave me that name, but I'm not going to argue with it.
I would have said Beard of Booty.
That's
yeah,
next.
There's that too.
That's next week.
That's next
yeah,
week. Okay.
That's for the Saturday show.
Right.
That's when we end rom-com week with showgirls.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And speaking of rom-com, on After the Weekend, we're continuing on with the rom-com on ATW, where it's the month of February. It's the shortest month, but for some reason on this channel, it feels like the longest month because we keep doing themes and we're doing the rom-coms. We're very dedicated to this. So
it feels the longest because we did Groundhog Day for 3 weeks of it feels like. So
we did Groundhog's Day so many times that me and you just went a little cuckoo. And then last week we did Fools Rush In, which we saw a version of Beard of Beauty that we've never seen before. Know. It's like he got up on the wrong side of the bed and he was just so angry.
That was a man of passion and irritation at the same time.
Yeah.
Y'all are trying to get me riled up right now, and I'm not going to do it.
Like, if we were to make him watch Fools Rush In one more time, he would be like,
rise and shine. And don't forget your booties, because it's cold out there today.
Yeah. So Beard, I'm just going to tell you right now, tonight, I need you to...
That's highly likely. I did not have an aggressive reaction to this film.
Okay. All right. Well, we I'm excited for this one. I enjoy this movie, Romancing the Stone or the Bone. That's a good TV show.
You know what's terrible is I remember that scene from being a little kid. So we always watched Roseanne. As
great
a
show, by the way.
I know. And it took me a while to track that down.
I always like their Halloween episodes.
Yeah, those are always good.
Yeah,
I do want to say before we get started, you were over on another show tonight, co-hosting.
I was on the Pop Culture Unleashed channel, or Pop Bros live channel over there with Brian. Usually Shane's over there; he's the other bro that goes live, but he's a little under the weather, so I was the substitute teacher.
You were the substitute bro tonight.
I was the substitute bro tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had fun. We had a great time. We talked about a gauntlet of things. So if you haven't already, you should go check it out. I should probably grab the link.
Yes, you should. You should throw it in there. Yeah, I highly recommend it. I got to watch the whole show.
Yeah, we had a good time. And then we also did a member version too. So if you're a member of his channel, I'm over there. So we had fun. We had a great time, and I would love to do it again anytime, so long as I'm available. So yeah, it should be fun.
No, it was great. Yeah, please go check it out. Go subscribe to the Popcast Bros and check out the show. It was great.
Well, the other cool thing is he runs the t-shirt shop that where we have our t-shirts. So.
Yeah. Speaking of that, let's do something a little different. Hey, Beard, you want to take this one for us?
I don't know how much you actually want me to promote the whatever, but I can say from experience, having worn this hoodie for the last couple of days, the ATW hoodie, it is very comfortable, and you should go over to mixtees.com after the weekend logo and check it out. It's good stuff. Quality, fits well, and I can say that from experience. A lot of websites, you look at the fitting, you're kind of like, I don't know if this is going to be. No, it's spot on.
Yeah. All I gotta say is when I sent it to you, and you're like, dude, this hoodie's so soft.
Look, it got cold again recently, and I've basically worn this thing for 3 days.
Yeah, he went to a bar the other day, and this happened.
Hey, Goose, you big stud!
That's me, honey.
Take me to bed or lose me forever.
Show me the way home, honey.
I mean, it's kind of become my like stream attire. Like, if I'm going to be on camera, I'm going to wear it.
Yeah. So here you go. Here's his account here, Pop Culture Unleashed. This is Brian, and he says, "Thanks. Hope to talk to him. Hang out again. Had a great time." So, yeah. I mean, Brian, we would love to have you on our Weekend Harder Saturday night show too. So hopefully we can get you. That's on a Saturday, not a Wednesday. So hopefully.
I was gonna say though, was Beard the Meg Ryan character or the Anthony Edwards character in that clip when he goes to the bar?
Both.
Well, Beard is the Anthony. He's Goose. Meg Ryan is the gorilla lady.
I never should have told you guys.
That's the After the Weekend lore there for you people.
Well, I was gonna say before we get into it, we'll also say hello to a few other people that are joining us. Our good buddy Tom, Rogue Attraction. He is driving home. He spent the whole day at Walt Disney World for President's Day, and we've also got Aaron from I Had to Say It podcast. Evening, lads. Going to be lurking as usual while he is editing. Appreciate you both. Thanks so much for being here. And
good man. Aaron, go check out his show.
Yeah, it is. It's a great show. He says Meg. Well, we won't stall any longer. We'll get into it tonight. Yeah, we picked Romancing the Stone. Definitely a classic 80s rom-com. Adventure movie too.
Yeah. And it's by one of our other favorites. If you notice the intro of this movie, it looks like another favorite of ours.
Yes. I'm starting something new with our slides here. It was directed by Robert Zemeckis. So if you're not familiar with that guy, he did Back to the Future, yes.
Yeah, my wife didn't know that. She loves this movie and she didn't put the two together. So when the intro starts, you almost kind of think you're watching Back to the Future.
Yeah. And then it was written by Diane Thomas. That's going to come up later. And then produced by Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas, yeah, actually kind of his career started off being a film producer, not an actor. He kind of got his name with producing One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, a Jack Nicholson film. So I always thought that was kind of interesting way his career turned out.
Well, his dad was real.
Well, I know his dad was an actor, but I'm just saying to at a younger age to start off as a producer. Normally, you kind of see acting come first, and then getting into production later.
They don't make actors or producers like this anymore.
Yeah. So, and then 20th Century Fox released it. I found this picture of Michael Douglas. I thought this was great. I was cracking up. Apparently, this is him after he discovered that the studio agreed that they would pay for all you could snort buffet. While on set,
okay. Wow. You're just gonna lay it on thick.
I am. So as we get into this, we'll start off with our usual. We're gonna go straight into the numbers.
Oh, okay. You're really changing it up on me. I do a show on someone else's channel, and you throw the whole rhythm off.
I gotta keep
11, 92, 12.
So filming dates for this were July through October of 1983, and I still technically was not even born yet when they were filming.
Wow, I was 1.
I was a couple months old.
And then it was released, a couple months afterwards, the following year.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to see, right? I mean, movies we grew up with, I mean, they would make them like nearly a year before they would release them. And now it's like they release them a month after they
Yeah.
They film them, they just
Well,
churn them out.
movies nowadays, they have to clean them up, CGI. There's all this stuff that
Yeah.
goes on. This movie literally had no CGI. It was all practical.
Yes.
Yeah.
So a couple of things to keep in mind.
Actually, there was one scene that was CGI, maybe, or animation. I couldn't quite tell. It's when they show the jewel for the first time. That's not a real jewel.
That probably had some animation kind of rotoscoping to it. If I had to guess. Oh, hey, Mrs. Sassy Squatch, drop by, say hi.
Yeah.
Thanks for stopping
Stay
by.
a while.
Yeah. We're talking rom-coms. Now, one thing too to keep in mind here, this is not something that has kind of come up before, right? Here we've got the star of the film is also the producer, so he had a hand in the budget of this. Excuse me. So kind of think about that when you're thinking of a dollar.
He paid himself.
Paid himself. Well, this is something that this was a story that he really enjoyed, that he wanted to bring.
It's a great story
to the big screen, and so I think like with having Robert Zemeckis work on it, he had a hand in getting him hired. So like I said, kind of keep that in mind a little bit when you're picking what you think the budget was here.
I'm gonna say 40 million budget.
I feel like you're trying to influence us.
And then it probably made. It's a good movie. It's a fun movie. Chicks like this movie. I'm gonna say I think it probably doubled, probably 80 million or even 100 million in the box office.
Okay, well, and just keep in mind, right? We've got two numbers here, so you may pick it you may be thinking it for 1 year, but it could be for the other. So you could just be off by the year.
Are you saying this movie was like $5 million and it made 10?
No.
See,
I'm trying to just mess with you guys a lot, and that's just fun.
Because I'm thinking this is probably a pretty.
Hey, Phil. Hey, Phil Connors. Ned.
You're gonna get punched by Beard.
Yeah, that's fine.
See, I kind of want to go low. I kind of want to say this was like, because they are shooting on location, and I did stumble onto it. Wasn't location in Colombia, but
No, it was Mexico.
They're shooting on location.
Mostly was filmed in Mexico and Utah.
People involved, I kind of want to go like 8 or 9 million budget. I think it's probably pretty low budget, but I think it probably did pretty well. So maybe 25 million in the box office.
Okay.
Maybe
Let's
30.
see.
We'll see.
Anybody in the chat want to guess?
Aaron says $1.
$1. I was gonna say
that's for modern movies.
Too bad Nicole's not here, because Nicole's always got a good answer. And
Yeah, she does.
I think my wife is asleep, so that's why we haven't seen her in the chat.
Oh, she must really enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had a long day today, so.
Oh, good.
All right.
So let's do this.
We'll go to the numbers.
Ooh, I was right.
Dang, that return.
Yes, this was a huge movie for the 80s. So, yeah, $10 million budget. So really no CGI. That wasn't actually even a thing. But like you said, the embellishment on the jewel is probably rotoscoping that they had done to it.
I was right on the budget. I was wrong on the box office.
Yeah. No, this was huge. This was a big hit, and this is something that the studio did not have a lot of confidence in, believe it or not.
Well, it did so well they made a sequel.
They did, but
really everything about this film, because I remember seeing like the box art for this in Blockbuster, or even the early 2000s when I worked at GameStop and people would sell DVDs and things like that. I remember seeing it, and nothing about that art made me think, oh yeah, that's what that film is. It looked like a Indiana Jones movie knockoff.
And it's funny you say that, because that, even when it came out, a lot of critics, that's what they said about it. They're like, this is just an Indiana Jones knockoff.
But it isn't.
But it's not.
No.
It's very
It's definitely
very
not.
much not.
It's a romantic novel.
But I love that you brought that up, Beard. That was great. Yeah, no, this is a big deal. But yeah, I mean, I would just say you got to remember at this time, people were not paid what they were paid today, and with all live action. I mean, they just probably $1 million of that went to Michael Douglas, and then
they even paid a kid to drive a red car.
Yeah.
That he nearly ran into the river. I don't know if y'all saw that. He drove it up. Everybody kind of starts getting in, and the car starts rolling towards the water. And I was just like, no, not that car. No.
Yep. Well, and then here's the stars of the film. Plus, we also have El Guapo from
yes.
Three
The
Amigos.
instant I saw his face, I'm like, oh yes, that's El Guapo.
It's great. I mean, first off, they've got great chemistry. Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner. I don't know how you guys felt about that.
Oh yeah,
I agree. Absolutely.
And Jean Wilder.
Yeah, Jean Wilder. And then
He's like, "Come on to my house, have everything what you want, because I love your books." And they kind of hinted to it because her publicist, when she said she was going to Colombia to save her sister, we forgot to tell the thing there that she even said you're a big hit in Colombia, and this probably this guy.
yeah. Well, he's like, he tells his men too. He's like, this is Juanita, who I read you her stories, and they're like, guys like, Juanita.
Ooh, yeah, and they're like, they were gonna shoot her first, and then they found out who she was, and they adored her.
Well, I was gonna say, this was the first watch for you, Beard, wasn't it?
Yes.
So I mean, like, what did you think about those two together and everything?
Oh, absolutely, very good, like chemistry playing off each other.
They were fun, and it was like they had a really good time, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, just the movie overall is a really fun time. I didn't really know what I was getting into, especially considering that opening scene, it being a PG movie and just being like,
the boobies
t-shirt contest.
Yeah. Little Spidey saw that, and he's like, and not immediately. I was like, it's fine.
You got the little kids scared of boobies. Oh my goodness.
Well, that's just him. I mean, we threw it on. I forgot about the wet t-shirt in the opening, but he was like, yeah,
but in general, they're fantastic together. And they did not make me angry like I was last week, because each character actually acted kind of in character and didn't just have this weird switch that made me upset.
Right. Okay, the one thing that's good about this movie is her. She's capable of doing whatever she's doing just by mistake, right? She's like, oh look, I'm gonna cross the bridge. I might fall, but I'm gonna try it. But she's not like, nowadays she would magically just walk across that bridge, right? She falls, she swings across, and she kind of flops on her butt, and she makes it by luck. And he has shot.
It's kind of like Michael Douglas's character looks at her like almost like she's more than she's putting on. Like he sees her as this like adventuring sort of personality, and I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, she's very naive but determined. Even like as terrified as she is, like she jumps on a plane to try to save her sister.
Speaking of Nicole,
there she is.
You missed the budget.
Just about to. Yeah, Nicole, you're late. Come on.
Archie changed stuff on me.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say though, like, I was thinking about this. I'm like, because Kathleen Turner's voice. I'm like, imagine he's your mom, and like, your friend's parents call or something, and like talk to her. Like, I would swear that they would think like they dialed the wrong number. Just because she's got that throaty voice. Because the entire time I'm like, it's Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah.
Nothing
But
wrong with that.
there is a caveat to this movie. He says he's trustworthy, right? He has his middle initial is trustworthy, and but he really kind of isn't. He really just wants to take the hidden jewel, the treasure that they're supposed to find, for himself.
Yeah,
Basically,
he's kind of a Han Solo scoundrel.
yeah. Basically, if you haven't seen the movie, is like her sister lives in Colombia. She lives in New York. She's a famous. Joan Wilder is a famous romantic writer, and she's always wants to find the right guy, right? And there's that scene in the bar where they're going down the line of these not so great
Uber
gentlemen.
yuppies.
Yeah, and they're making fun of each one of them, right? And so she's trying to she wants to be with someone, but she's just kind of alone right now with her cat. And her perfect person is the person she always writes in her book. And so she has this opportunity to go to Colombia because her sister's in trouble because she supposedly had some map to a jewel, and it just leads her to find Kirk Douglas, and it goes from there. But he wants to take that for himself, but he has a change of heart at the end. So
I was gonna say,
I just have to call this out, and I don't like the term "pull the beard." That's rude, Nicole, but she hasn't seen this movie.
Oh,
yes, I wasn't the only one.
I'm surprised, Nicole. You would love this movie. I feel like
it was really good. I do recommend it.
Wow.
I was gonna say, watching this now, who he reminded me a little bit of is another Jack Burton. I almost would have loved to have seen a team up of Jack Colton and Jack Burton in a film.
That would have been fun. I mean, they're both kind of doing their own type of thing.
Yeah.
I was always curious how he ended up here, and he does kind of explain that in the story, but I won't ruin it too much for Nicole. But this, you would. I'm surprised you haven't seen this movie, and you should watch it.
It's a lot of fun.
It's fun, and it does have a lot of the adventure tropes. Like it has, the wild trade car chases, the jungle events.
Juan's little mule.
Yeah, that truck. Now that truck, everyone wanted that truck probably in the 80s.
Yeah.
I want that truck now.
Pepe,
you can probably buy it.
My little mule.
Yeah, it's a great scene when he's.
And then, well, it's funny too because it's this little tiny rundown village that they're in, and they go inside and they go through the second set of doors, and it's all modern and nice and.
Well, it goes to show you how drug lords.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the main bad guy that was chasing them, who also wanted the jewel, Zolo. I think pretty sure he was Escobar's right-hand man, because at this time in the 80s, Escobar he ruled this country. So
well, not only that, but just some really poor gun safety by El Guapo's part there of just he's like, is he Joan Wilder?
He's good. He's good. He's okay.
He's
pointing
got
with
finger on the trigger. Well, when there's always gun things wrong in movies, that always bug the heck out of me. Like he shoots 9 shells out of a gun that probably only holds 3 or 4 shells.
Well, he also dropped one, and you didn't see that.
Well, the other thing too is, not that that's a gun that you would really want to cheek, but if you ever did, that would hurt because Michael Douglas is right-handed, and that gun ejects on the left side.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's movie.
I know. I'm just saying. I watched that, and I'm like,
now you're like Beard, like the other night. You're getting upset at movies.
I know.
I started to dissect the guns in this movie, but I decided, no, I'm not going to be that guy this week. Just let it happen. It's an older movie. Things are going to be weird.
Yeah.
And then R2 steps in, hold my beer.
Wait, did you say hold my beard or pull my beard?
Hold my beer. Don't pull my beard. You might get punched.
Speaking of the cast, here's the cast from the film.
Great cast.
Yes.
My favorite is Danny DeVito.
He's great. Did you guys watch the trailer for this too, by the way?
No, some of the lines
Mm-mm.
he says though, when he's like in the town, it's like I'm in this S town full of dirty S's.
Well, the trailer
Hey.
is all him, and it's him talking on the phone to Ira, and it ends with he's like, "I'm not going back unless you're coming with me," and it zooms in on him, and it shows a bunch of clips from the film. It's a really good trailer.
He's great. He's such a great actor. He's so fun and he's so little.
Yeah. Well, I've got some pictures of him because he kind of does the same thing throughout the whole film. But
he would be canceled today. Let's just put it that way.
yeah. He was.
I mean, I always appreciate Danny DeVito because he commits to the role. He goes crazy. He does the physical comedy stuff, like when he jumps up on the counter and he's trying to rip his wanted poster off, falls over. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Now, Joan's sister Elaine is extremely recognizable from 80s films. I'm sure you guys recognized her, Mary Ellen Trainor. She's the mom from Goonies. She's the therapist from Lethal Weapon. Gosh, there's a couple other things I can think of her from, but she was actually a Hollywood writer. She did some writing on this film, but she was actually, for quite a while, she was married to Robert Zemeckis.
Okay.
And sadly, though, she did pass away a couple years ago, unfortunately, which is sad. But this was her debut film. Another one that was cracking me and the wife up was the neighbor, Mrs. Irwin there, Eve Smith, the old lady.
Yes. She stole the show for me.
She was like full of piss and vinegar, and she was hilarious.
Yeah. I also enjoyed Kathleen Turner was good too. Like we said this before,
Yeah.
she was always fun, but Ira was kind of funny too. Like they're brothers, right? Him and Danny DeVito.
Cousins.
And it's like, or cousins, sorry. And it's like, I'm just gonna leave you on the dock. See you later.
That
Let
dude
the cops get you.
had a caterpillar on his lip there. That mustache.
That was a good mustache.
He had the 80s. He had the 80s look. Yep.
And then the guy who plays Zolo, like, talk about like how creepy he was.
Oh yeah, he had his little switchblade.
But
and,
just like the look he gave everybody was like imagine getting stuck in an elevator with that guy.
Yeah, he'll probably stab you.
Yeah, you're right. Or the other thing.
That's why Mrs. Irwin doesn't take elevators.
I was gonna say it would be that, or it would be like in Euro Trip and the creepy guy on the train. It'd be that or the other thing. Excuse.
Yeah, excuse.
Now I did swap out Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner's photo there, but then I decided I would just show it to you guys anyways. Stop clicking the button.
I didn't click anything.
Mom, Dad, don't fight.
Like one looks like Skeletor, the other looks like melted butter.
Oh, that's what they look like now.
Yeah.
Well, see, to call out Kathleen Turner and her character in this film, there were some things going around on Twitter/X, Twix, whatever you want to call it. I don't care, about female leads and things like that, and that from older films that are really popular. And there were several people that called her out in this film, and it was actually before I'd watched it, so I was looking forward to it, and I absolutely agree.
Yeah,
she played a really good character.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's if you're looking for a movie like this, this is like on your list to watch. But yeah, Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner nowadays, they don't. Yeah, here you go. This is classic Danny.
I mean, this is all he does is he's chain smoking on a phone, or whipping a gun around.
Yeah, and the scene right there, he's in the bottom left there where he's in the car, he's like hiding his face.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh, stupid American, stupid.
I was gonna say, I think Beard sees what I added into a photo there.
I see the T-Rex. Yeah.
It's like I watch it, I'm like, this is totally made me think of Jurassic Park.
That's
Well, I was actually laughing more at the fact that whenever they're in the cave and he has the two mains at gunpoint and he says, "Let's go before Batman gets home." I just laughed because he ended up being the Penguin.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that was great. Well, that and then that photo there of him like all beat up when he's chasing after his cousin. I'm like, imagine him like begging you for money in the middle of the night, looking like that.
Yeah, he's such a good good character in a lot of movies. He's
Yeah,
just fun.
he was so good in this, and it's kind of a fairly minor role too.
He really is for being the quote unquote
Third.
bad guy. I mean, he's not really in it that much.
Well, in the second one, no spoilers or anything, but I guess it is kind of. In the second one, he's not really the bad guy. He's like their friend.
Well, I was gonna say it's kind of funny in this one. He's kind of a bad guy, but like he goes to the airport to try and get her and make sure she gets to them okay.
Yeah.
And even chases after her. He's like, "Oh no, you're on the wrong bus."
Well, yeah, he doesn't want her to die because he knows what's available. He knows what's he could get from her, so he doesn't want to be a complete jerk. But he has his
it's
own
selfish
motives.
motivation, but
Right. But yeah, that scene right there where he's running, that does look like Jurassic Park. That's pretty funny.
I hadn't thought of that till right now.
That's good. That's good.
Sorry,
but I always thought it was funny. He's always hiding his face because he's wanted in Colombia.
Yeah. When he's in the police station and he's like, he realizes it, and he's like, because he's so freaking little, he's like trying to like hop up onto like the ledge of the counter and pull down his wanted poster.
He reaches up there just as an officer comes up and has to like.
It's a great movie. Great scene.
And then,
yeah, there's the sister, the cousin, Zulo, or whatever his name is, the main bad guy. He was still walking, and he got stabbed.
He got stabbed. He got an arm missing,
burnt.
He got Captain Hooked.
Yeah, that's right. His arm got bit off. He got stabbed, and he caught on fire, and he was still going.
That's determination right there.
But that look right there that you see with those bad guys, that's kind of what Escobar's people, his soldiers, look like, because he kind of ruled that country, so he hired a lot of military guys to be on his side, and
there was a lot of corruption.
His military though did not really seem that big. It was just like he had like a dozen soldiers with him.
Well, is it? Yeah,
I kind of got the impression that he was like he knew what he was doing, and he was just ordering people around. Yeah. He was he would just like show up and was like, "Oh, I'm big government dude. You do this," and they didn't know what's going on. He was the only one that I thought that actually knew he was going after a gemstone.
Yeah. Well, no, I was saying like as a kid, I just felt like his army was always so much bigger, and then I'm like, he's only got like 12 guys.
It's movie magic.
I know. And then you've got Juan Smith there, and the guy in the middle there who was so excited that it was Juanita.
Yeah.
As a bald man, I have to call out that I thought this dude didn't have real hair. I thought that was like added on. That's just his hair.
Yeah.
I thought he was just a bald man with like a half thing going around his head.
I could have swore he had a toupee when I watched this as a kid. But he didn't. He was bald. I mean,
that was the look, man. That was the look in the 80s. Guys didn't really shave their head until later. So that was
you know what? I'm gonna bring it back.
You should.
No, I'm not. I'm not promising nothing.
No, you should. No, you should very well do that.
I think
you bring back the skullet, where it's long in the back and bald on the top.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Make the South proud, Beard.
Yeah. We all have to do our part.
Take your beard and then like shape it like up.
Now,
I mean, I could technically tie it behind my neck right now, but you know.
Yeah, but you, like, get some mustache wax and just.
All right, moving on. Romancing the Stone.
Now, I was gonna say, after they, right, they get away with Juan, and they end up in the city, or in a little village, and then they get a hotel room, they get new clothes. There's like a big dance scene, and that was like a real big kind of scene from that movie that was always kind of well known. I mean, I felt like when I watched it, it didn't probably have the same impact, I think, as when it came out. But
well, at the risk of stepping on the facts later, I stumbled onto the fact that Michael Douglas didn't know that he was being filmed at that moment. He was actually just out there dancing, and only found out later that he was being filmed.
I don't know how you can be like, I don't know I'm being filmed when there's people walking around with cameras.
Well, what I take it as is it was like we're going to film this scene, and then the music's going, the extras start dancing, and then he just starts up, and nobody yells action. They just film what he's doing at the moment.
Very true.
Yeah, that's probably what happened. But that was a good scene because she found her her person that she was looking for in her books, right? She always the person she was writing, the man
Jesse,
in the books,
right? Wasn't that
Jesse? Yeah,
his name at the beginning.
She wanted him to be a certain way, but you had that with Michael Douglas's character Jack, but he had some flaws, and she accepted that because she's like, you're like the closest thing. Before we get on to it though, I was looking up, Squirrel JT over here. I was looking up. Beard. I found your relative.
Oh no.
Yeah, I found her. I found him.
Oh, man.
No, that can't be my relative. He's got way too much hair on top of his head.
This is from your mom's side.
Oh, okay. That's the Scots Appalachian side of my family.
I want you to do this.
Oh, man. Yeah. There comes a point where if you have to worry about tripping on your beard, you've gone too far.
That's like the male version of Rapunzel right there.
Yeah, you should do that and charge children to ride it.
Just let them like grip on and I spin around in circles.
Now, if you notice though, that guy was at least like R2's height, so you have to get a little taller.
Oh, that's gonna be tough.
Go stand on a milk crate.
All right, back to the show.
Now, there's the jewel, and then the top left corner, I think, is where it gets really shiny and kind of bright, and
that bottom scene is where they're just kind of escaping, and he first kind of meets her. That scene, he drops a shell, but I don't think he was supposed to drop it, and he shoots that shell later.
He shoots that shotgun like he's shooting a grenade launcher against them too. That was the other thing I was cracking up at.
He's a Hollywood actor.
No. I know. Because I'm like, he's got like a dozen guys with rifles, and he's just got that that shotgun. And I mean, that was something though that I was just cracking up at. It was like in the movie, he was like shooting a rocket launcher at him.
Yeah, I mean, it's the early 80s.
I know.
I mean, nobody aims with their rifles except for that last little bit when he does for that one scene.
Yeah.
Everything else is from the hip. Just go for it.
Well, it's actually his personality, right?
It does fit.
If you look at his characters, he does everything from the hip. He goes down to Colombia on a coffee boat to just do something, right? And then he ends up doing whatever. Everything he does is off the hip. Like he wants to have this sailboat. He wants to get to somewhere, but because of the decisions he makes, he has a hard time getting there. And then she helps him. So, I mean, he finally does things a little different. But anyways, that jewel was pretty big.
Yeah. Well, then he hides it with the family jewels, which I kind of like. I always kind of wondered, like, the way he hit him. Did he actually know that he was hiding it there, or was it like, I'm just gonna hit this guy in his nuts and make him talk?
Yeah, I think it was.
It
I
was
would
a
think it was the
coincidence.
second part. It's just
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna smack this dude. Ping! It's like,
And then,
and then you see everybody's face, like, oh, that was not the sound I expected.
Yeah.
he does that like shimmy as it as it goes down.
Yeah, it was great.
And,
Yeah, that was a fun scene. That was great.
Yeah. And he kicks it, and I was like, does he kick it and catch it? But then he kicks it and it actually hits the tree and it tumbles back down
Yeah.
through it, and then the general catches it, and
then the gator takes it.
Then he gets Captain Hooked.
Yeah.
yeah, he that's there on the right side. You can see him catching it, and then the crocodile comes
that's a
out.
huge gator. And that's a Hollywood gator. That's a real gator they had dangling.
Wait, which one are you talking about? The top right?
The gator hanging from the bridge, that was real.
Oh yeah, that's a crocodile.
Okay.
Because they're in Mexico. There are no alligators in Mexico. They're filming that in Mexico.
Move this man!
I could never I
Don't fight, people are watching.
Now I don't think. Well, I was gonna say that's not Bushmaster either. That they really use when he kills them.
not all of us are like in lizard world. We
I know.
don't know
Well,
these.
but I was gonna say that is something though that is true. I have heard about those snakes, that they are good to eat.
So let's kind of get. What do you guys think? Did they actually cut a snake in half for the film?
So this is okay. I get what you're asking. So if you're asking if her reaction is real, I'm gonna say yes. I think that was a real snake that she wasn't sure that was there, because in the 80s they did that a lot. But I don't think it was the type of snake that he said it was.
Oh no, it definitely has the look of a constrictor type of snake.
Don't ask me. I mean,
but I
Lizard
think
King
they
up there.
actually did chop a snake for the film, because when he and a lot of people out there, I kind of saw online, it's like, it's not wriggling enough like a snake would. Well, considering, like, they have to make the shot and then they cut and maybe have to do a couple other takes. But especially when he gets to the tail, you see that tail kind of writhing around. And I think they actually did. I think they cut a snake in half.
I was gonna say no, just because where he's cutting it right there, it looks like there's blood already there, but there would be a lot more blood from the snake if they did that. And it's.
I mean, if they didn't, they did a really good job of making that tail look like it was moving on its own. Because
he's wiggling the tail when he's holding it. He's actually doing it. But yeah, it's like a python or something.
Yeah, maybe they didn't kill an actual snake, because animal rights people would be on them.
I was just thinking in the 80s that you could probably get away with something.
Well, the reason I say that is even back then, a lot of that stuff was all, animal wranglers, and so I don't think most animal wranglers, especially to something like that big, are willing to part with it.
Yeah. I mean, like I said,
maybe if
they didn't, right, it looks really good. If they didn't actually do it, it looks like they did.
Yeah, I mean, it looked great. It was a great scene. I don't think she knew that it was going to be there, though.
I was going to say, I think like most people who are not fond of snakes, even knowing that it's going to be there, I think she was probably not thrilled. If I had to guess on it, but they could have not told her, or they could have told her it was going to come at a later point.
Or maybe just not warned her that a machete was going to come slamming down.
But then too, I like right. It's a plane full of keys of marijuana.
Yeah, he like huffs in the smoke from the fire.
So I'm like, shouldn't you take that plastic off?
No.
Nah.
He's like, that's a campfire.
But it's pretty crazy that he was able to know which crocodile it was and follow it.
Yeah, because once it gets in the water at night, I mean, even during the day, I'm sure that water's pretty murky for him to track it.
How
But
did he?
then again, he was a poacher, though, too. Keep that in mind, right? Because that's when we get introduced to him. He had a jeep full of birds, and that was like his 5-year plan was to poach a bunch of birds for the pet trade.
So I know it had a distinct color to it, so maybe that's what he was looking for. So,
well, he also said that it had a bad case of indigestion, so he probably just kept an eye out for the croc that vomited up a green gem.
He said it died in his arms.
Yeah. And I love that he made boots out of them.
Yeah. All right. So, like always, we reminisce on what else came to the movie theater around this time. So, let's do in the theaters.
Shut your drums and stop kicking the seats! We're trying to watch the movie!
So, it's kind of funny. It came out. It didn't win. Usually, when we do these movies, it's usually a number 1 or number 2 movie, right? This one was number 4, behind Splash and The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes.
Yeah, Greystroke.
It must have had good word of mouth and just kept steady for several weeks in order to make that budget. The return.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't look the consecutive weeks, but I want to say this was a movie that went up.
I mean, it's even behind Police Academy.
Yeah,
which we plan on doing someday. So, but it's like, Splash. This movie's way better than Splash.
Yeah,
this is something though. Again, you got to go probably right how it was advertised, and I'm assuming it didn't seem like this was advertised as like an Indiana.
It wasn't
Jones
in a lot of theaters like the other two either.
No, well, that was kind of the other thing too. The studio did not have a lot of faith in this film.
Well,
so I think that was kind of another part of it as well.
Well, I mean, this week, it's if you wanted to do a rom-com week, this is another week. We did this with Fools Rush In, the same thing, but this is another. Splash is a rom-com. I'm not sure if Ice Pirates is, but or Children of the Corn.
Ice Pirate. I just looked that up.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't think I've seen it, but I think I know what it is.
That is a like a cult classic. That's like a.
That's a we want to catch on with the Star Wars thing, but now, it's got no budget.
Your big movie, I think your big movie there that's been in the longest is Terms of Endearment. That's a tearjerker.
That was an Oscar film right there. Because look at this is Spinal Tap. I mean, it was out for 5 weeks, and look how little it did, and that's
dang.
That's a hilarious film. I never realized that did that poorly at the box office.
I mean, yeah, I don't know, but in the movies, in the theaters, Footloose was a good one. It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, on there, Footloose, right, is the second biggest, and I would have said probably followed by I don't know, either Splash or Police Academy, but this was I think this ended up being one of the in the top 5 biggest films of the year, Romancing the Stone. So
yeah, I mean it's fun.
It had to catch something in order to make that return that we saw earlier.
If you're into adventure films, which a lot of people were then because of Indiana Jones, it worked for you. If you were into romantic things, it worked for you too. So it was a good date movie, and that's probably why it did really well.
Well, it did. It had something for everybody, is the best way that you would describe this.
Yeah, I was about to say it's a good family film, but then I remember that first scene.
Oh, come on. I mean, it's not like this is Total Recall or anything. Jeez, please.
I know, but I was surprised. It was like, oh yeah, PG film. Oh, all right. Oh, you can
remember,
see right through
this
that.
would have been, if PG-13 existed, this would have been a 13.
Yeah.
It didn't exist at the time of this movie.
So and funny you bring that up because another movie came out this year, but I want to say later in the year, which was Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and that's what started off the whole PG-13, which it came out right at the end of 1984. Did they get that rating out?
Right.
But you really didn't see it until the following year in '85. So.
Yeah, it was Temple of Doom and what, Jaws? Like the first big ones that carried that?
Temple of Doom.
No, Jaws was PG. That's right.
Was PG, and that was nearly 9 years ago at this point.
Oh, that's right.
I'm trying to think of what the other one was, but Temple of Doom, that the ending scene where the faces are melting, that's really what kind of was like. We need something in between. Oh, you know what? Poltergeist came out this year.
Oh, okay.
Poltergeist was the other one where the skeletons and the in the mud and everything. That was the other big thing that really made people go, we need something in between. This is not quite R, but this is definitely too much for what we would take somebody to a PG film for.
Yeah.
And then the third movie was...
I am so excited about Star Wars.
Yeah, you need to turn on private mode on your browser if you're going to watch that movie.
Yes. Well, we've got Star Wars and Romancing the Bone.
I accidentally clicked the slide because I'm sorry. Look at.
Oh, that's okay. Well, go ahead, play the clip.
I'm a little delirious.
That's the fact, Jack! That's the fact, Jack!
All right, we're doing fun facts. I clicked it too early. Remember, I've been streaming since.
Oh yeah, it's all good.
6 o'clock.
No problem.
We're very professional here. Everybody relax.
Come on, we have a famous YouTuber in the chat that we have to impress, and
yes, we do.
I have failed already. So.
Studio execs were so sure the film would flop that Robert Zemeckis was preemptively fired from directing Cocoon in 1985. It turned out to be such a success. Well, this film did. That he was able to go forward on his own project, Back to the Future.
So wait. They thought this movie was going to fail, so they fired him. Oh my gosh!
And instead, it allowed him to be able to work on Back to the Future. So because of this movie, and because of how the studio looked at it, we got Back to the Future.
Okay.
Instead of him doing Cocoon. So, the only produced screenplay for writer Diane Thomas. She had been working as a waitress in Malibu when producer star Michael Douglas optioned her script for $250,000, allowing her to quit her job. Sadly, Thomas died in a car accident while working on a new movie project with Steven Spielberg the following year, about 7 weeks before the opening of the film's sequel, Jewel of the Nile, 1985. She was a passenger while her boyfriend was driving a Porsche that Douglas had bought for her as a thank you gift. The Jewel of the Nile was dedicated in memory of Thomas, which I thought that was really, really sad to kind of hear that. The person who came up with this is no longer with us and died. That's soon into her career after just breaking through.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, going from being a waitress to landing something that was so successful.
Well, not only that too, but and that's even really sad in the sense of, right, Michael Douglas bought her a Porsche for a thank you gift because he believed in her that much, and then it, resulted in the death of her. Now, there's probably a little bit more to the story during this time of the decade. Who knows what was involved in this accident, but still very... Yeah,
but still being sad. The person who bought that vehicle for it, he probably was racked with guilt for a while.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can imagine.
That's tragic.
Yeah, very. According to Kathleen Turner's memoir, Michael Douglas originally offered the role of Joan to Deborah Winger. They met at a Mexican restaurant to discuss it, but according to Douglas, she ended up biting him. And she didn't get the part. Jessica Lange and Leslie Allen Warren were also considered to play Joan Wilder.
Huh.
I want to know
Just-
how that rolled into her biting him, though.
I need more backstory for that.
I know. You're trying to get a quesadilla, and instead you get bitten
Yeah, that's
by Deborah Winger.
Don't go
weird.
for the last of the guacamole. It's just like, nah.
That just sounds like a Simpsons thing. Like, oh no, it's Deborah Winger again. Clint Eastwood, Jack Nicholson, Paul Newman, and Christopher Reeve all turned down the role of Jack T. Colton. Sylvester Stallone turned down the role of Jack in order to star in Rhinestone, a decision he deeply regretted.
yeah. You know what though? He wouldn't have been good in this movie.
I don't think so. Well, I mean, again, that the biggest thing for this role, it's the chemistry between the two characters, and you kind of go,
I just don't think
I don't.
this wouldn't have been his type of movie. He would have
Well,
been so out of place.
and he's not the scoundrel
Yeah.
type where like Jack
Paul-
Nicholson would have, I think, done a great job at it.
Paul Newman would have been okay.
Yeah, even Clint Eastwood, but Christopher Reeve wouldn't have been right for this either.
Well, bonus fact, as apparently Michael Douglas took this. One of the main reasons he took this is he wanted to showcase his rock climbing skills. I guess for that last scene, because he was an avid rock climber.
He goes up the side of the castle there.
Yeah.
Or like or not castle, but still that fortress. Yeah, that was that when he slides down, I was like, ugh, my fingernails. This is Michael Douglas's first action film, and though he is billed first, he doesn't show up until 25 minutes into the film, which I thought was pretty crazy. And then we do have one more group of slides. Let's click over to that. Hang on, sorry.
Well, you got all kinds of facts tonight.
I do. Couldn't help myself. The Rolling Stone that Jack finds in the dead pilot's bag is from September 9th, 1982. Features Elvis Costello on the cover.
Yeah, and it's like the Doobie Brothers broke up.
Oh.
When did this happen?
That shows you how long he's been away from real.
Not only that, but like unlike today, I mean, the world is so connected. Even like something like that would make its way down rather quickly, where you hear about it. But still, I mean,
maybe.
Then you wouldn't hear about it. Beard had mentioned this one earlier. Yes, in the famous dance scene, Michael Douglas was not aware that he was being filmed when he was dancing with Kathleen Turner and some extras, and was surprised to find out Robert Zemeckis had been filming the entire time. And yeah, you watch that, and you could tell he's having a blast. Everybody is. So,
oh yeah,
it's a great scene.
It is. Bob Hoskins turned down the role of Ralph, which eventually went to Danny DeVito. Hoskins and Robert Zemeckis would work together 4 years later in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and Kathleen Turner, who played Joan, would also provide the voice of Jessica Rabbit.
He would have done a good job too.
I was about to say, I think he would have been a good choice as well.
I'm
not to say Danny DeVito wasn't, but both of those were good choices.
And I think too, Danny DeVito was also, I want to say, if you go back to our review of Roger Rabbit, I think he was considered for that role too. I mean, he would have. Bob Hoskins definitely killed it, but if you couldn't have gotten Bob Hoskins, I think Danny DeVito would have been great in that role.
Yeah.
Ralph's white car is the Renault 4L. It was the biggest selling car in Colombia at that time, and called the Faithful Friend, El Amigo Fiel, in TV commercials. That car seems so old. So when I found out it was like a current car there, I was like, that's hilarious. Mary Ellen Trainor, who plays Elaine, Joan's sister, was also one of the writers and was married to Robert Zemeckis at the time. And this was her film debut.
Nice.
And then last, though described by some critics as a ripoff of 1981's Raiders of the Lost Ark, the original screenplay had actually been written 5 years earlier, around 1979. Also, fans had been rallying for some time for the next installment, The Crimson Eagle, to be made. That or Romancing the Stone / Raiders of the Lost Ark crossover. Figure that logic out.
So Yeah, they did make a second one called Jewel of the Nile, right?
They did.
And it was a big hit too, a little bit. Not as great.
Did not have the same amount of success that this one did.
But you could watch both and have a good time.
Sure.
There was another movie. There was a movie that came out recently with Sandra
Bullock and
yes.
And gosh, what's his name?
They tried to redo this story, but so everyone thought it was going to be like a remake, a complete rehaul, but it wasn't. It was actually a spin on this story where like the man or the guy was kind of like the goof, like he wasn't
Channing Tatum. That's who it was. The guy,
he wasn't really supposed to be there, and he's just supposed to be like a bodyguard or something. And
well, no, he was the model for her character in all her films, and
right. And then they do have this character like Jack show up, and it's Brad Pitt, and he ends up not making it. But yeah. It's that. If you watch these two movies and that movie, you'll have a fun time.
It is, yeah. Gosh, I think that's called like Lost Treasure. I can't think of what that's
something
called.
Like that, yeah, it's fun. It's a fun
movie
too.
It is. That actually is a really great film.
But I don't know if you have a slide on this. I don't think you do. But my favorite scene is when he shows up at the end, Jack, because they go separate ways. There's a couple times this happens in the movie. There's one where he says, "I'll meet you at the hotel," because they're separated at the waterfall, and she doesn't trust him, but he does. He comes back, and that's how he saves her at the end or whatever. And then they get separated again, and she doesn't think she's ever going to see him again. She fell in love. She's like, he's lost forever, right? And she has to go back to her New York apartment with her cat and just kind of enjoy the success of her book, because she ends up writing this story into a novel, and she ends it in a different way, right? So that the two lovers end up riding in the sunset like she always does. But she doesn't. Yeah. She doesn't get that. However, sorry, Nicole, it's been a while, so it's okay for spoilers. He does show up, but he shows up in a sailboat in the middle of Manhattan
on a trailer.
And it's a sailboat that he always wanted, because he hints at that in the beginning of the movie where he has a picture of it, and he's like, I want this boat. This is my 5-year plan.
Yeah, it's his dream.
It's his dream, and he literally shows up in downtown Manhattan with this thing, this boat here, and it's pretty amazing. I don't even know how they shot this. I don't even know if someone's ever done this in Manhattan. I'm gonna say yes, but what would you do if you're sitting there working one day and then you look out your window and you're like, what is that?
Well, I mean, it's New York City, so they can't shut down everything. And I don't know if y'all noticed, like, as you know, she gets up there and they kiss, and the truck starts pulling the boat down the street. There's just like two dudes on the sidewalk that just turn around and start staring, like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people, when they were filming this, knew that was going to happen either. I think a lot of the reactions that you saw were real. I'm trying to see if I can find I really want to show this, how crazy this is. It's just so funny. Hold on. Let's see if I can
well, like the bottom keel of like the boat too is like needs to be attached on.
Yeah, but I'm trying to see if I can find when he actually. No, it's this picture. Like, it's so crazy when they drive away. How it is. So give me a second here. Let me see if I can find a picture of this. 1 second.
Yeah, while you're pulling that up, I just put in the chat that the Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum thing y'all were talking about is The Lost City.
Yeah, so Lost City. Yeah.
If folks want to check that out.
Yeah, It's a good one. It's a good one. Oh, here you go. Here's a kind of a good picture of it. So let's see if I can show this real quick because it's hilarious. Let's see here.
R2, I don't really appreciate that you're sticking your tongue out at us whenever you go off camera.
Yeah. So if you look at this here, see the road in New York? Look at all the cars on the side of the street because they close this entire road so they can film this scene and this they drive off like this into the sunset. This would never happen in New York. It wouldn't be this way. This thing would be stuck in traffic.
Oh, absolutely.
And he basically bought this boat and I don't know. He basically bought this boat and with the jewel because he ends up finding it and he buys all this great and he takes her off and they ride off into the sunset. And really, if you watch the second movie, she writes from his boat. She writes more stories, but on this boat, she gets that not right in her apartment, but she gets it right on traveling with him around the world and kind of lives the life that she kind of always dreamed of. And I think it's a great ending to this movie. It's fun. I think.
Yeah, I do appreciate that the boat is registered out of Colombia. Like he didn't come back and buy a boat and register it in the U.S. He came back for her, and now he's going to go back to his adventures.
Well, it's cheaper.
Yeah, it's true. Let's be honest.
Well, final thoughts. I kind of already said mine with the ending there. I just always think it's a fun movie. It's a good date night movie. It's a great, fun rom-com movie. Beard, what are your final thoughts on this?
It's a fun twist on the not only rom-coms but on the kind of adventure trope, because it touches on kind of some of the things that you would expect, but it does them differently. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very fun. I did not get angry at this one this week. I thought every character behaved exactly like they should.
Every character?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. Give it a shot.
Rick, if you can, what is your final thoughts on this?
I think it's a great film. It's definitely. I mean, if you haven't seen it, check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. Like you said, it's almost it would be good to watch this and then watch the Sandra Bullock one that's kind of similar, just because it's a good twist on a similar story with it. And I think their chemistry is really great, them together. I think that's kind of one of the biggest parts of why it's such a good film too.
It is.
Yeah.
But and I agree, them driving down, New York Street, hauling that boat. I don't know how they did it. I don't know how much that cost for him to sail that up there, and then half of it, half the boat taken apart.
It's so funny because why wouldn't you just leave it well, I know why he did it. Like he paid extra he could have just left it in the dock, right? But he wanted to make a real big impression on her.
Well, yeah, because the sails wouldn't be out, the mast wouldn't even be up; it'd be collapsed and laid down. He wanted to make an appearance,
and he probably paid for that. And he read her book, so he knew what she would appreciate, right? Like, because in her book, that's how usually it would end up being. Well, again, if you haven't seen it, please do. And if you're watching after the fact and you go to watch it, come back and comment. Let us know what you think of the film. I'm especially interested what Nicole thinks of it since she has not seen it. A couple announcements here. So we have one more movie to review for the month of February. And our next movie, I'm going to quiz you, Beard. Do you remember the next one?
I don't.
Really?
No, I didn't remember this one until like on a stream I was on until R2 told me.
Okay.
I have to start making notes.
So the next one is Can't Hardly Wait. It came out in the I think it was close to early
97 or 98, I want to say.
Yeah, late 90s. It's a rom-com style of high schoolers that we grew up with, and it's a Can't Hardly Wait. And we're gonna have a
name. but I haven't seen it.
We're gonna have a
Guest.
a guest. Sorry, I was reading Beard's comment, and I'm like, what is
Oh.
going on here? I don't want to sound like a dick, but I found it funny that you finally have not seen something.
Look, she calls me out for everything. I have to call her out.
You should call her out. It's a good job. So anyways, we have a special guest coming on next week, and it's Blaine from Criticalist. So Criticalist.com is a site that you can go to and review movies. You can set up your account. I kind of threw you under the bus on my guest appearance, R2. So.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, not only review movies, but if I remember correctly, you can actually look them up and it'll show you or tell you where you can watch them. So it's a good kind of resource if you're trying to find what streaming service or something is on.
Yeah, you can look there. We have an After Weekend account over there. It's criticalist.com, and like I said, it's a great place to go sign up and make reviews. We've done a few over there. And one thing that Brian reminded me that we can do over there that I forgot about was you can actually make your own list. So like, what's your favorite list of 80 movies or your favorite rom-com? So so definitely check that site out. And Blaine's going to be on next week while we review Can't Hardly Wait. So
that'll be a fun time.
It's gonna be good.
I'm excited to see him. So maybe we should add some reviews on his site before he comes on.
Yeah, I've been trying to catch up. I have to remember to actually review things.
It's okay. We had some busy months, so we'll figure it out. But excited to have that. And then March, R2, we're gonna do what are you calling March again? What are we doing? Buddy cops or cop movies?
Yeah, buddy cops.
Okay. Yeah. So 2 exciting months coming up, and or not 2 exciting months, but a month of still some more fun movies. So we're excited to do. Anyway, so Beard, what do you got going on since you're like the traveling streaming?
You're the Troy McClure of YouTube.
Yeah, you just go everywhere.
Hi, I'm Beard of Liberty. You may know me from such streams as After the Weekend, Weekend Harder, Jacob Ironside's Popcorn Talk, and Roman of the Empires, whatever the hell he's talking about that week. So I think Jacob is kind of on a hiatus. He's having some technical difficulties. Once he gets that sorted out, I'll probably be back on those streams on Tuesdays. Thursday, I'll be on for Roman of the Empire, and we'll be talking about... we will not be talking about Fight Club, because you don't talk about Fight Club.
Yeah, you don't talk about Fight Club. That's a great movie. I'm curious. Maybe you can ask him for me while you're on the show if I don't get there in time to watch it live. I'm curious if he's read the book.
Okay.
Because the book is quite different than the movie.
It is.
That's often the case.
Well, no, it's quite
very different. Yeah,
very different. So I'm curious if he's read the book and on top of watching the movie. But
you're going to make me read a book before a stream, aren't you?
Yes, I want you to read the book. Either way, they're both good movies. But R2, I think we have a Saturday stream this week, right?
We do a Saturday stream.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure we'll be talking about some of the topics that have recently come out in pop culture.
Oh my gosh, there were so many just today that I went over with Brian. It was crazy.
So we're gonna have to narrow down that list quite a bit for our show. But
I think we're having Joker on.
I believe we got Joker Voice coming on to join us for that. So that's always a lot of fun when he comes on the show. We love having him over on Weekend Harder.
He's like the Steve Martin of our show.
he brings just the right amount of chaos.
And when I say that, it's because he's on a lot.
Yeah.
So we what we should do, and before we wrap it up here, I know we're over a little bit. We should make a monologue of all his appearances. like they do on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I think it's time to wrap it up. It's fun. It was fun hanging out with everybody, talking about this great movie, Romancing the Stone. And again, I suggest you all watch it. Everyone have a great weekend. Oh, and happy President's Day. So, by the way, today was President's Day. Yeah. And we'll see you again on After the Weekend on Monday or this Saturday live, and then also next Monday. So everyone have a good night, and we'll see you later.